welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a moment, I am going to walk my happy butt out the door to check out the new movie, Mickey 17. Mickey 17 is directed by Bong Joon-ho, and it is starring Robert Pattinson. It tells the story of a man who signs up for an initiative to colonize an ice planet, being what's known as an expendable. What is an expendable? Well, it's someone who goes out onto this planet and kind of tests it out to find out if it's livable for human beings. And if he dies during the process, well, they just make another Mickey 17 because he's just a clone. This looks like it is going to be, honestly, a lot of fun from what I see with the trailer. Normally, Bong Joon-ho is known more for darker films. I know that Parasite had some funny moments and all, but all in all, that was a fairly dark film, and most of his stuff is pretty much the same way as that one. And so it looks like this movie's going to be dark, yes, but also a little bit more joy and happiness being brought to the film. At least that's what the trailer looks like. I'm not sure. I don't know what to expect from this film, but you know what? It's enough of me sitting here jibber-jabbering on. It's time for me to get out the door because I need to see Mickey 17. Welcome back. Just getting home, and guys, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed this movie from beginning to end. Now, normally I say negatives and positives, but honestly, guys, nothing about this film really stood out to me that I didn't enjoy about it, but there were some things that I could definitely see other people not really liking. So let's not say negatives this time around, let's just call this things that other people might not like so much, but I didn't mind. And the first thing I want to talk about is just the humor of this film. Now, the movie itself, I found it very funny, and there's a lot of different kinds of humor. The movie doesn't just rely on one thing. You have slapstick, you have witty retort, you have situational comedy, you have awkward situation comedy. There's a lot of stuff thrown in this to keep you entertained and laughing throughout the entire movie. I found this movie very funny, and a lot of it has to do with the actors and the characters they're portraying. And there are a few of the characters in this film that I think some people might not take too kindly to, but at the same time, the movie itself doesn't really get what I consider preachy about the messages and everything that it's trying to cover. This movie goes over a lot of stuff. And I would say a good example of what to expect from this film going into it is if you are a fan of Starship Troopers, but you also like it because you can watch it and be like, damn man, that's a movie about them bugs killing people. I love it. Or you can watch it and look into its bigger meaning behind media and government involvement and wartime and propaganda and fascism and all sorts of interesting stuff. Or you can just say, look at them bugs trying to kill them soldiers. That sure was fun. And this movie's a lot like that also. You can go into this film and see all of the messages that it's trying to get across to you, or you can just go watch a fun movie about this guy who keeps getting cloned and getting into weird situations and just have fun with it. The movie itself is really well made, and let's just get into those positives, shall we? The first thing I want to talk about is just the visuals. Now, I know for a fact that a lot of stuff in this film is CGI. There had to have been some practical effects moved in this, but what I'm trying to say is the CGI in this film looks so amazingly good that at any given time you would have thought that these were actual puppets and practical effects because everything looks so solid. The creature design is outstanding. I love the aliens of the local population, if you will, so much. Their look in this film, they went for something that looks definitely alien, but friendly and also familiar at the same time. Basically, the aliens just look like big old roly-poly bugs. You know those roly-polies? That's what we call them around here. It's those bugs that when you touch them, they roll up into a little ball. Well, that's the same with these aliens. So you have something that's definitely alien, but at the same time familiar and kind of cute and cuddly. I really enjoyed where they went there. The visuals are stunning. The special effects look so freaking good and realistic. I loved the cinematography of this movie. It was so incredibly well shot. Everything about this film was just like watching moving art up on the screen. The acting in this film was also great. I really enjoyed Robert Pattinson in this lead role. But there's other two actors that I want to mention that were not brought up in the beginning of my intro, and that is Toni Collette and Mark Ruffalo. Both of them have smaller parts but important parts, and let's just say they own it every freaking time they were on the screen. I really enjoyed when their characters would pop up. Not that their characters were great, their characters were awful people, but they were wonderfully acted and very well planned out, very well thought out, and so on. The story, as I was saying, there are deeper messages to this film. You have classism, which, I mean, come on, it's Bong Joon-ho. I mean, every one of his films has classism in it. You have fascism, you have colonialism, you have, well, we have all the isms, all right? Let's just put it that way. And the film doesn't drag it down with trying to get preachy and all, even with all of this stuff in there. There's even some social media metaphor stuff in this film. I really like the way that they were able to tie all of these different elements into this movie, and in presenting it in such a way that it doesn't bog the film down or get a little too preachy for the viewer. Because like I said, much like Starship Troopers, you can sit down and watch this movie as just a big old popcorn fluff film, or you can sit down and watch it and take in a deeper meaning to the film. Both of them are extremely acceptable and a great way to watch this film. All in all, guys, I have to say that this is an excellent film to get out in the theaters and see on the big screen. I went and saw it on what's called the AMC Dolby Theater. It's exclusive to them. It's a huge screen that uses all sorts of different lights and all to make a really crisp picture. So I had a beautiful picture and an amazing sound system going into this. And honestly, guys, a movie like this is so big, so boombastic. Go see it on the bigger, huger screens. If you can't, just go see it on any screen you possibly can. Because this movie does need a theatrical viewing to take everything in, because it's so well done. Even with just the outside scenery just being a complete and absolute blizzard, it still gave it this really neat look and a different alien vibe that just doesn't seem like it's from this world. All in all, guys, I have nothing but amazingly good things to say about this film. I will say that the humor in some parts might get a little too silly and goofy for some people, but I still really enjoyed it because I myself am silly and goofy. So you know what, guys? Get out there, support this film in theaters, and just take in a really great sci-fi film. And this is the kind of sci-fi that I love, guys. You know, space wizards are fun and all, but a nice, deep, allegory, meaningful science fiction movie that still delivers its message and a good time, now that is rare. So if you guys enjoyed what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.